My business is called Master Predator Hunting, LLC. It's also known as masterpredatorhunting.com on the internet. And it's a primarily predator hunting business in Pennsylvania. I hunt for red and gray fox with people, and I also do some coyote hunting and bobcat hunting as well. And then in the summer, I do some long-range shooting classes. You can hunt pretty much with almost anything that you have, but when you hunt at night, a lot of times, the key is shooting something that's really flat shooting, and of course something that's not going to damage the pelt too much. So today the gun that we're going to use is a 17 rem Fireball. It's just a standard Remington 700, and I custom load the ammunition for it. It's shooting a 25 grain bullet, and it's good to about 300 yards. So if that fox is at 0 yards or 50 or 200 or 275, the client shooting the gun doesn't have to worry, how far is it? Do I have to aim high? Do I have to aim low? So it's really a great caliber. Probably my favorite caliber for fox on the planet, the 17 rem Fireball. Well, I offer all-inclusive hunts. You know, there's a lot of gear involved in predator hunting. So basically a guy just shows up, or a lady, I have ladies as well and kids, they just show up with a fur bearer tag from the state, and everything's included. All the firearms and the ammunition, the calls, the lights, snacks, drinks, you name it. Really, just show up and hunt. And they decide ahead of time, they talk to me, and I offer them either red fox or gray fox, coyote, and in a limited extent bobcat hunts. I do about 6 of those a year, and it depends on what they're looking for. I'm very blessed, probably have the best red fox hunting that I'm aware of in the country. The whole mid-Atlantic region is pretty much the spot to go for red fox, between southeastern Pennsylvania, eastern shore Maryland, Delaware. So for the guy who has to shoot something, I tell him book a red fox hunt, because those hunts are guaranteed. If I don't call you in a predator on a red fox hunt, you come back for free. I've done this a while, and I research, I read a lot of, not so much hunting magazines, but a lot of biological research reports, and I've learned a lot about the animal itself. And I think that's step one. If you really understand the animal, you know, I'm sure great deer hunters really know a lot about deer, and bear hunters and great walleye fishermen know a lot about the walleye. So step one for me is becoming a student. I've probably read every research article I could find on coyotes especially, but fox and bobcats as well. So that's where it starts. And then after that, you have to kind of understand the properties and take a look around, and you know, what's a half mile away? You know, how is a fox going to live, or a coyote going to live in that area? You know, and targeting those properties. And then when you've done it a long time like I have, you get a lot of knowledge year after year. You see where the predators are, what types of days you see them on, and all that kind of filters in as well, and really helps out a lot. You might notice on my gun and on my tripods I have little wind feathers. And when it comes to canines, they're always trying to get downwind to smell. They don't want to just come in blindly. They want to run down and smell what it is. So as I'm watching that fox and I'm keeping it lit up for the hunter, I'm also simultaneously looking at that feather, and I'm watching that fox, and I'm seeing how soon is it going to be until that fox is going to get our wind. And once I hit that point, I'll say, okay, you have to shoot now.
Mike uses a Fox Pro collar and a tripod, and he mixes up the volume of several different noises and calls.
In Pennsylvania, you're not allowed to use any type of thermal or IR devices, so I use all red LED lights, and they really work fantastic. I don't feel I have any disadvantage, you know, as hopefully you'll see later on tonight. But it casts a very bright red, a dark red beam. Red to a canine is the dullest of all colors. That's why we use red. You could call a canine with a white or a green or any color, but it's so bright to them that over time you're much better off using a red light. So tonight I'm using something called the Coyote light. It's actually made in Pennsylvania. The best red LED lights, I think, on the planet. They're very bright. They'll burn all night long. Just really a good light.
When the sun set, Mike got excited about the next few locations. We stood right in the middle of a field at the perfect vantage point for sight and wind. With the call making noises, we continuously covered ground with the red lights until a fox showed up.
Right there, right there, right there. Missed.
There he is. I think you got him that time.
Dead fox.
Are we done at this set then?
Yeah, we're done.
You get one and done.
You're
right?
on the gun now, buddy.
And
I'm done.
And that's what you said. You only do one.
One, yeah.
Per property.
One, and it's done for the year. Yep.
So we're done. We're gonna go over and collect our fox. So this guy came in like he was hungry.
Yeah, that's a normal. They all
Okay.
come in that same way.
But now that we're on top of it,
You see his tail's kind of missing.
obviously mange just
So he's got mites that are he's starting to tear at the mites. The mange is scabies in humans,
right.
and an animal doesn't have antibiotics.
Right.
So he's eventually gonna die. He's gonna tear out all of his fur eventually, and then he'll get through the winter. He won't die of exposure. But what's gonna happen with him is he's gonna get an infection. He's gonna keep tearing at those mites
Right.
until he rips his skin open enough times. He gets a blood infection, and he's got no antibiotics, so he'll basically die from infection. Sepsis, I guess you call it. Or
So the best thing to do now, I mean, we've taken him out of the population.
Yeah.
Just let him go. Leave him here.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing to do is to burn him or to bury him.
All right.
And you can see we're in an area where there's, suburban, well, it's kind of rural, but if domestic dogs, come in contact with those mange mites in the fox, those dogs are going to get mange as well.
Right.
And they're going to take it home with them. So, fox are a beautiful animal, but when their numbers get high and the mange spreads, it has a detrimental effect on domestic animals, So,
So we're just going to bury him or get rid of him?
yeah,
Okay.
we're going to bury him, and that way no dogs or cats or anything is going to get in and
Right.
pick up these mange mites. They'll jump right off of this fox onto the domestic animal, and they'll go home with them.
And we have now a couple other sets yet.
Yeah, we
Places
just
to go.
started.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, let's go.